Imagine you're an F1 driver, not a racing driver, not someone who goes fast on weekends, one of 20 people on the entire planet who does this for a living. You wake up in a hotel room, not your hotel room, a hotel room. You have been in so many hotel rooms, you have stopped noticing the shower pressure until it isn't good. It isn't. You check your phone. 7 messages from your engineer, 2 from your manager, 1 from PR, reminding you that today you have a sponsor appearance at 10, a press conference at 12, a simulator session at 3, a debrief at 6, and dinner with a CEO whose product you cannot name right now, but whose logo is on your left shoulder. You look at the schedule. There is no gap. You eat exactly what the nutritionist says. Protein, complex carbs, no coffee after 11, no coffee after 11. You are about to drive a car that generates 1,000 horsepower and pulls 6G in corners and reaches 300 kilometers per hour in under 8 seconds. But no coffee after 11. Sponsor appearance, 10 a.m. You stand in front of a banner. You smile at the banner. A man explains what the company does for the 4th time this season. You nod. Someone asks for a photo. Then another. Then someone who wants a photo with you and their colleague's wife's sister, who is apparently a big fan. You take that photo. You have taken this photo 400 times. Press conference, 12 p.m. 30 journalists, 30 microphones, 30 variations of the same question. How do you feel about this weekend? Focused, confident, taking it one session at a time. You have been saying these words since you were 17. They come out automatically now, like breathing, but less interesting than breathing. Someone asks about your teammate. You pause, not because you need to think, because you have been trained to pause before answering questions about your teammate. You say, "We have a good working relationship." This is technically true. Someone asks about the car. You say, "The team has done an incredible job. We have more to unlock." All of this is carefully worded, because what you actually think about the car stays inside the car, and inside the debrief, and inside your head at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling of another hotel room whose shower pressure you have not yet tested. Simulator session, 3 p.m. You sit in a carbon fiber shell in a room with no windows and drive a virtual version of the track you will drive for real in 48 hours. Your engineer talks in your ear constantly. Try a later apex on turn 7. Can you feel the understeer on exit? How does the balance feel through the complex? The balance feels like a knife edge. It always feels like a knife edge. That is the point. You do 40 laps in the simulator before you have driven a single real lap. 40 laps of data, 40 laps of trying to make the virtual car tell you something useful about the real car, which will feel completely different because the real car goes over real bumps at a speed that makes the simulation feel like a suggestion. Debrief, 6 p.m. Your race engineer, your performance engineer, your data analyst, the head of strategy, an aerodynamicist on a video call. 2 people nobody introduced who are clearly very important. Telemetry everywhere. Screens everywhere. They show you where you are losing time. Turn 3, 200ths of a second. The braking zone, 400ths. Turn 12, exit, 100th. 100th of a second is the gap between 4th place and 6th. Between a good weekend and a weekend discussed on 3 podcasts about what went wrong. Dinner with the CEO. His name is Richard, or Michael, or possibly Thomas. He uses the word synergy. He uses it twice. You eat your approved meal. You nod at the synergy. You think about turn 3. You get back to the hotel at 10 p.m. You have been awake since 6. You have smiled in 4 different rooms. You have not yet been near a car. Tomorrow is practice. A cockpit built specifically for your body. A seat molded from a cast of your spine. A steering wheel with 23 buttons. A helmet that costs more than most cars. And 19 other people all trying to find 700ths of a second that nobody else has found yet. Practice, Friday, outlap. Everything feels alive. The car moves differently to the simulator. The braking is sharper. The rear is more nervous. The curbs are harder. Your engineer comes on. How does it feel? It feels like nothing you can describe to someone who has not done it. It feels like the world is running at a speed that makes sense only when you are inside it. You are traveling at 280 kilometers per hour, a car width from a concrete barrier. You are thinking about nothing except the apex. The apex is a point in space the size of a dinner plate. You hit it. This is the part nobody talks about. Not the speed, the cognitive load. A fighter pilot manages comparable workload. You manage it while being pressed sideways by 6 times your body weight in a vehicle that will kill you if something goes wrong at the wrong speed. Saturday, qualifying. 1 lap. Not a race, not a session. 1 lap, 2 minutes and 14 seconds to extract everything at the exact moment it needs to give it. You sit in the garage, the mechanics move around you, the visor comes down. Everything outside the helmet becomes a different kind of noise. Everything inside becomes very quiet. Outlap. You build the tires, temperature coming in, brakes climbing. You cross the line. The lap begins. You are not thinking. That is the honest answer. You have thought everything already. 40 simulator laps, 12 years of racing, every debrief, every data session, every turn 3. All of it is already inside the movement. Now you just drive. The lap ends. Your engineer, P2, 200ths off pole. Less than the blink of an eye. Less than the time it takes to read this sentence. 200ths. You come back to the garage. The debrief starts immediately. The 200ths are already circled on the screen. Turn 3. There they are. There they always are. Race day. Formation lap. The grandstands are full. 70,000 people who traveled from somewhere to watch you go past in 1.4 seconds. 5 red lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything in your body that has been monitored and optimized and discussed in 7 meetings across 3 days stops being data and becomes instinct. The lights go out. 57 laps. Strategy calls. Pit stops. Battles for position. A safety car nobody expected. A decision made in 4 seconds that changes everything. Your engineer every 30 seconds. The tires. The gap. The target lap time. Push now. Manage now. Push now. And underneath all of it, you still have to drive the car. Final lap. You cross the line. 2nd place. You didn't win. Your engineer, great race. Well done, mate. The team is on the radio. Everyone is on the radio. You hear all of it and none of it. Because what you are thinking about is not the championship points, not the flight to the next race, not Richard or Michael or Thomas and the synergy. You are thinking about turn 3, the apex you nearly had, the 100th you almost found, the gap between 2nd and 1st that lives somewhere in a corner you will drive again in 2 weeks in a different country in the same hotel room with the same shower that doesn't work. And somewhere in a city you'll never visit, a kid watched you cross the line, watched the helmet come off, and then went outside and sat in a cardboard box and made engine sounds with their mouth, and turned an invisible wheel through an invisible corner and found the apex perfectly on the very first try. Because nobody had told them yet that it was supposed to be difficult. Formula 1 will take everything from you. Your time zones, your shower pressure, your coffee after 11, the certainty of knowing where you'll sleep next week. But it cannot take the moment the lights go out. That moment is not data. It has never been data. It is just you and the car and everything you have ever learned becoming one thing at the exact instant it needs to be. Those 200ths, they're still out there. In turn 3, waiting.